All right. So my name is Jacob Larson. Right now we're doing an interview for um, with Ian Henry. And As I told Ian when we first started, we're going to try to make this video so we can actually post it on YouTube and it not get taken down. When I first started doing these, they got yanked almost immediately. I got nasty emails saying they were going to pull my channel. So I got no traction on YouTube at all. And we're going to try to prevent that and hopefully make this a video where we can actually post. So, Ian, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. A little tired, but I slept on the couch. That way I'd wake up.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
I knew I'd sleep in if I slept on my bed. So,
No worries. So, what have you been up to?
well, I just got back from Tahoe. I was in Tahoe with my cousins and my brother. So my cousin's mom doesn't own, splits like a cabin up in Tahoe with another family, which I don't really know that family, but so we can pretty much just try and schedule going up there. And if it's open, then we can just take the cabin. So we went up there for like 3 days, went snowboarding. One of my cousins brought his daughter, so we did a bunch of fun activities, went and got food, just hung out at the house. I made like food. My brother made biscuits. We made a ton of stuff, just hung out. It was good.
Nice, nice. So now
Yeah.
back home and back to the grind, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my coworker, the other dishwasher, he picked up like a week and a half. But I asked him ahead of time, I was like, would you be okay if I did this? If I took like a weekend just to go do this? So he said he was okay with it. I'm trying to pick up his his day today, maybe Thursday, and then go back to regular days and stuff like that, just to cover him, help him get a break.
Nice. Well, I mean, it's good you got somebody you can rely on at work that's willing to do that, you
Yeah,
know?
no, he's been awesome. He's been really nice.
So how's life? How are things going?
I mean, pretty good. I think
Are you
I
living the
definitely
dream or
definitely shouldn't be able to complain. Because I was working Monday through Thursday, and then I switched over for Friday through Sunday, so that I could play league matches for a video game with my friend because he wanted to run a team. So I had to switch the days if I wanted to do it, which he wanted me to play. So I ended up switching my schedule around.
league matches? What's that?
So we pay to enter, and then we could play for like generally you're playing to win is to be like the number one team. But I think it's probably like 16 teams get picked towards the end of a season. And then those 16 teams have to play playoffs. And then the number one team gets to skip intermediate and go straight to main, and they win like $100 or something like that. And then in main, you play for like 500. Um, and then the other teams get moved to intermediate generally. And then they probably win like a bit of a lower payload or whatever. But yeah, it's just season based. You pay to enter, pay to win, or pay to play. And we want to do a different thing, which is this Face It is offering open qualifiers for like majors, like or a minor event. And then at the minor event, you can play to be in a major, which would be like all the big events, big money.
There's cash prizes, right? I mean, there's cash
There,
prizes for winning.
there is, and in some senses, there's like virtual items that you can win for the game because the game has skins and stuff like that. But I mean, we're definitely playing to go big screen,
Skins, like different
big
character
event.
outfits and stuff.
Yeah, there's different outfits. I don't think they allow the outfits in majority of like the professional play because the game was out for like 10 years and then they added these outfits and then everyone was used to like blue outfits and like whitish tannish outfits and then they add all these new outfits and it's like people were blending into certain parts of the maps and a lot of people were getting frustrated with it.
So it's like a
So
camouflage that they were the skins
yeah,
that they were
and
getting in.
especially you're used to it for 10 years and then they switch it on you, like you're not going to be looking for that new color set, you're looking for the older color set, so you don't always think about it. It's happened to all of us, happened to the best of us, but
So how long have you been doing this stuff?
the competitive play I've probably done maybe 8 years. I was like on and off. I did it a lot coming out of high school, probably my senior year for 2, 3 years. And then I just got back into it recently because my buddy wanted to make a team. Because I've told him a bunch of things. He ran a season with my old team, and I told him not to, but I wasn't surprised when he got out. He did not want to play with them and he wanted to make his own team because he had a lot of issues with it, which is the same thing that I had. There was a lot of issues that I had with that team because they don't do real practice. They don't put their head to the
So
grindstone.
I
We go
mean,
in every time.
okay, so a couple things. Okay, so number one, things have come a long way since the Atari 2600. Okay, so that
Oh yeah. I
yeah,
mean, we're
okay,
talking
so
VR now.
right, I was gonna say, so my generation, I mean, we start out with the Atari and well, that's I mean, there was one earlier than that, where they had Pong and stuff, but I mean, you start out with your Atari. I can remember, wanting an Atari and then getting an Atari, and then of course, the friend that had the Atari 5200 or whatever it was, had the better gaming system, and so you envied that and that sort of thing. But I mean, things have progressed. Now you've got teams. This sounds to me, I mean, basically what you're doing is more of like it's like being a part of a online baseball team or football team, but it's online. I mean, you've got different tournaments and stuff that you're going to, and
Yeah.
um,
Which
things
I'm
like that. But you're
looking,
not. It's not.
it's not what.
Sorry. Oh, I was going to say it's not. It's not. It's interactive, but it's not in person.
Right. And that's actually my main issue because being that it's online, which a lot of games have been getting hit lately, is there's like way too much cheating going on. Like my dream thing that I would do would probably be owning a land center so that I could run competitions myself. Because I don't trust these big corps, man. I mean, you look at NFL, you look at baseball, they're entertainment businesses. They're not
Right.
sport teams. They're not running
Correct.
sport teams. They're running entertainment. And that means they could rig the match and it's legal. It's legal for
Right.
them to do that. I don't play with that. And that's my issue with a lot of these online games is there's been max fixing in the past, and I got out probably 2 months into the start of it because I was gambling online. I was underage, but I was gambling online back before they had it all regulated and stuff like that. And I was making money online. And then once I saw the match fixing, I got out. And then a big team got hit and banned by Steam, like the whole Steam. And I was the only one sitting in the back. Like I told you that was gonna happen. I was telling you that was gonna happen the whole time. Like that's why I got out. But I mean, it's been a big issue, and that's why I would like to play land. But even some of the land places, they don't really regulate. They don't know how to regulate. They don't know what to look for. They don't know what they're doing. They're just running the fact that we have 200 people. We got a ton of desks. We got the land connection. You can bring in your computer, and then you can just play for a spot in a minor to get into a major. Like they just don't know.
Well, there are people. I mean, there are people that refuse. I have friends that will refuse to watch NFL games for pretty much the same reason. They're saying it's all commercialized. It's all about making money. It's not actually about the sport. They don't care about the players. They just want to get the advertising spot, that sort of thing. Um, you know, so obviously you're seeing some of that in the online gaming. Um, so how are they combating that with, I mean, you're a younger generation, so I mean, how are you guys dealing with it? Besides dropping out, I mean, your only option was to drop out, right?
Yeah,
There's
and
nothing else to do.
I did for a while. A lot of what I mean, there's not a lot that we can do. I have been thinking of
Because the
possibly
man's in
running a
control.
lawsuit. Yeah, yeah. And that's the major. That's why I was saying I want to get a land center. If I could run a land center, and I open it up and I say, okay, we're gonna be doing like cash prizes. You come in, and so my whole big regulation is you're not bringing your computer. First of all, it's gonna be 10 computers that are the same, or if I'm running bigger ones, be like 20 computers all the same. If you want a
So you
specific
can
keyboard,
truly, so that you can
so I can run
truly
it.
determine the true talent, the true gameplay as it is, with no cheats, no
Right.
special equipment.
Yep. I mean, I'd be putting the computers in like lock boxes. These keyboards now, they have USB slots on the back of the keyboard. I'd be like snapping those. You're not going to use
Okay.
it. Like I'm going to make sure that there's no USB port access, there's no Bluetooth access. You're not connecting to the internet. I mean, if I'm running a LAN anyways, it's going to be all offline. And then if you want accessories, so a keyboard or a specific mouse, like you're going to make a donation. I'm going to buy the keyboard or mouse or both
So
that you want, and then
is it safe
you
to
can
say,
walk away with them.
is it safe to say, okay, that, because what I'm hearing from you is you want things to be fair, you want it to be balanced, you want it to be, even keel, straight across. So is it safe to say, I mean, a lot of you're kind of an idealist. I mean, that's what it sounds to me. I mean, in the gameplay, is it safe to say that you're kind of a boomer of your generation when it comes to the videos? You're
We,
the old man in the rocking chair saying, "We
yeah,
need to get outside,"
yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, we actually call all the younger kids Zoomers. We're
What's the
close to that
difference?
generation, but we call them Zoomers. Not only because they're flying around in the games, but I mean, they do a ton of different things. A lot of the kids now, it is popular now to get into coding, and not for good reasons. It's
So you can
popular,
cheat.
right? Right. It's a huge scene. I mean, we're talking cheating videos for CSGO get more views than some of your biggest names.
Okay, so okay, if you're looking for a level playing field, what if you said, listen, cheating's on the table, however you cheat, if you can cheat better than the next guy, then good for you. If you can code better than the next guy and write something code that gives you an advantage in the game, good for you. If you can upgrade your computer, do whatever you want to it, and good for you. The best cheater wins. What's wrong with that?
You're gonna see Mafia just take over. It just becomes Mafia. I mean, you're talking about it because it's not the best coder or anything. Like majority of people that actually code cheats for the game,
Mafia,
they don't
mafia,
play.
like mafia, like mafia.
Like Mafia. It'll be like Mafia. I mean, there is a rumor because the only person that can confirm it was the streamer, and he kind of confirmed it, but like you never know. Was that there was a guy online that was harassing this player that said, "You're gonna play on my team," and he sent him a bunch of info by mail just to show that he knew where he lived, and was like sending him all this stuff, and is like, "You're gonna play for my team, and you're gonna cheat, and we're gonna go win. And if you don't, then there's gonna be serious repercussions." Because that dude had a family.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
So that's next level shit for sure.
yeah. Which I can't
So
confirm. I didn't like the streamer to begin with. He is super mouthy, but he definitely has that ego of somebody that probably took that offer up and was like, "I'll just run with it."
yeah, so that definitely takes it to next level, because I mean then you're talking, I mean, things aren't anonymous anymore, and you're talking about a personal visit in person. And I'm actually a little surprised that, no offense, but some of the Zoomers, everyone call it, have the stones to do that, because that is old school, you
I
know.
think it was a generation probably above me. These guys were definitely older than me that were doing this. I like this game's been out
Well,
since
and that would make sense, because that's, I
right.
mean, my generation. I mean, that's, yeah, that's how things were done. It's like, okay, let's, the offer that you can't refuse. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
You know.
So no, they're definitely older. I mean, the streamer that I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure he's like 40.
Okay.
And so a lot of people are worried, like my friends and stuff that play on the team, they're kind of worried that they're going to fall off when they're older. And I'm like, that's not how it works. Everybody that's in the scene right now for Counter-Strike is like mid to late 30s. Like they're old
Okay.
heads. And
Right.
that's why I say it's monopolized anyways, because you don't see a lot of new like young blood get in. There's not a lot of young kids.
Well, see, and that's the thing that's interesting to me because you have kind of a there's a mentality out there that gaming is for kids. It's for the younger generation, blah blah blah. But I've heard, I don't myself, I mean, I don't participate, but I mean, I've heard of, guys, in their mid to late 40s, early 50s, still gaming, still being very active
And
in that
making money.
industry and making money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the wild part for sure. A lot of the people that make the most money stream. There was a good couple of like pro CS players that backed away. I have a theory. I tell everybody they got out because they saw all the cheating happening and they're like, I'm just done with it because it's just too much BS. Because then you're lying to your viewers. You have so much to keep up on. If you slip in one aspect, you're just toast. So I was like, they probably got out. They saw all the BS that was happening. Everything was getting monopolized. And they were just like, you know what? I have so many followers. I could just go play all these other games and I can keep all the followers because they just like me as a personality. I'm just going to go play games now. And they'll play whatever they want now instead of playing professionally. I think that's what a lot of people that get on one single game, that's what their goal is to build a follow that they could play any game that they want and still make that money.
So what do you think the future is for that type of format, the professional play and stuff like that? I mean, if it's all going to be, if you're having people drop, if it's truly how you say people are dropping out in mass because they don't like how things are going, what's the future of that?
I mean, I only see like maybe two different kind of routes. And like one is cheating is so prevalent. Not only is cheating so prevalent, but it's gonna be monopolized in the sense that there's only so many companies that are running these events and running these tournaments that really they could have different names for them, but it's all the same top that's just running all these different branches. So if a bunch of people are making branches, the only way that it's going to survive is if people aren't getting bought out by those bigger branches. I mean, you can pick up sponsors and stuff like that, but you cannot sell your entity to the bigger corporate. You can't sell out because then if they tell you to do something, you're going to do it. And if they're running it Mafia, like I would expect them to be, then you're going to run it the way they tell you to.
Well, that's what they're going to go. I mean, that's what they're going to do. I mean, nature of the business is to control all of the, control it all, control all the gameplay, and then take little bits and pieces of every bit of it. But I'm just curious. I mean, because like I said, I mean, you're like I said, you're clearly an idealist. You can see the problems with what they're doing, but based on history, I mean, you're gonna lose, dude. I mean, the system's not going to change. It's simply going to get worse. It's going to delve deeper in that, and you're going to sit there on your soapbox and go rah rah rah, but nothing's going to be any different. I mean, that's kind of how it works. So, I mean, what
It
do you
is
do?
it is the nature of things. So I've actually talked to a couple of different people, and I need to just go and do it. As we were talking about running a computer that hasn't had any of our personal info, none of this stuff. We just download the cheats and we don't use it. We don't go online, and then we figure out how all of it works, and then we start implementing our own ways. I was talking to a friend, and I was like, I would love to build a type of code that could basically fight something that is cheating. So if a computer has a cheat on it, because a lot of it has to do with packet information that's being sent across the internet, and I'll read different packets. And if you could code something that could target something like that and just shut it down or just like scramble it, make it harder for it to work, all these different aspects, you could
Like a
see,
Tron program,
right, right. We're talking about affecting the other player.
like, like a Tron program. That movie was so ahead of its time, man.
Dude, it really was.
You've
It
seen it
really
though, right? I
was.
mean, you do know what
I've
I'm talking
seen
about.
I've
That
seen the
wasn't
original, I've seen the new.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Ready Player One. I haven't seen Ready Player One, but I heard it was definitely a take on that sort of genre.
Okay. So, you know, there's a lot of people, I mean, especially, from my generation X that don't, I wouldn't necessarily generation X, probably more of a boomer generation that doesn't quite understand or doesn't grasp, the concept of what you guys are doing. And they do make the argument. They say, listen, you spend so much time online playing these stupid games, that you're not actually living life. You're not actually going outdoors. You're not enjoying life. They do this Norman Rockwell thing where they see kids riding their bicycles and playing balls in the street, and they think it's this great thing. I've seen you and David play. I mean, to me, I don't see it to be that much different. You're socializing online just like you are in person. I mean, yeah, there isn't the in person, part of it. I mean, I do question on how you guys meet girls. I mean, it's like, well, how does that work? I mean, you got this gamer profile that you're looking at. It's like, is that reality? I don't know. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, I can see the social aspect of what you guys are doing. But in the same breath, I mean, you do have, those people out there that make the argument that you're not actually participating in life. What would you say to those people?
I would definitely agree. I wouldn't argue for anybody to be sitting playing video games and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, it's a huge time investment, just as anything. So you have to be invested into what you're doing to go in and achieve what you're doing. Because it's not to say that all of them don't go out and do all these different things. Some of the biggest streamers, some of the people that are making the most money, obviously they have the money to go and do that stuff. But I mean, they go travel, they go do different things. We have people that are streaming that their whole stream is just going to another country, showing people around. They're like walking around with their stream, talking and all this stuff. And they just go to different spots that people probably wouldn't see in their life. Because some people just don't have that drive to go and do bigger things. Like they want
So
that
they're
entertainment.
physically going to see these places and they're talking with you and they're recording it and putting it on their channel or whatever.
They're recording live. Like they're talking to the stream as the stream is going, and people get to see stuff as it happens. I mean, there are some people that do that, and that's all they do is they just go and travel because people donate so much money all the time. And that's the one thing I don't understand is the people donating money, but they just love the person that they're watching half the time.
Yeah, but what's the percentage of success? I mean, it's kind of like what's the
Low.
percentage of, I mean, I've written a couple books, okay, and when the first couple books, and I've got one that's in the process of being published. So I've written a couple books. When I started to do that, I had this idea in my head on how the book industry goes and stuff like that. And then the more I got involved, I realized, oh yeah, this is not anything. This is nothing what I thought it would be, and it's actually, a little. I mean, the percentage of successful, money making authors is so minuscule. It's so small. It's like if you're going to keep, I came to the realization, it's like, Jake, if you're going to keep doing this, you need to do this for other reasons
Yeah.
than trying to eat, because you're not going to eat on this. I mean, you're not. And so, I went for a long time where I didn't do anything because it's like, why am I doing this? And then, I got to the point where it's like, well, yeah, I'm doing this because I want to do this and it's interesting to me and I get something out of it outside of the monetary thing, because the monetary thing's not there. I mean, it's just not there and stuff like that. And, as much as you say about the tournaments and stuff like that, I mean, I understand the dream of somebody, who's heavily into gaming, wanting to be a professional gamer, making money, that sort of thing. But, in terms of actual success, I mean, what are the odds? What's the percentage of people that actually do that on a routine basis? It's got to be incredibly low, right?
It's incredibly low for sure. And there are so many different variables that affect that it becomes a huge problem for everyone. If you're talking about a 5-man team, you're saying that, and generally we don't want just five people. We want six, because if somebody has something going on, we need to fill that because we have stuff to do. We have games to play. So if you got like a 6-man team and you're talking about doing certain tournaments, certain league matches, all these different set dates, they have to have the time to do that in the first place. You're talking about conflicting time slots with possible jobs that people have. So it's about
Right.
finding the right people that have all of the right time slots open. And then if we go, hey, we're gonna go down to California and we're gonna go play in a match, and you have somebody in central United States in like Colorado or Denver or something like that. You have one guy out in like Texas, one guy in Seattle, two kids in like Oregon. Like everybody has to be able to converge in California to play that match in order to progress further. Otherwise, you just can't do it. There's so
How
many
on
variables
earth,
to it.
how on earth do you do that? How do you organize something like that? I mean, there's corporations out there that try to do that with employees, and it's almost impossible. And they're actually getting paid a wage. Here you
Yeah.
got these people that are gaming, they're not getting anything, and it's just another aspect. How on earth? Wow.
I
So
mean,
so
it
how
takes
does that?
drive.
Well, it takes drive, okay, but how do you sell that? I mean, if you're in a relationship, how do you sell that to your mate? Hey, we're gonna starve. Okay, we're not gonna have any food because I don't make money doing this, but I need to be there. I got to go to California. I'm gonna leave you at home with the kids. Where take care of rent for me while I'm gone. How does that work, man?
If somebody's got a significant other, then they better be working those days. And then if we call for a land match, then they just have to get the time. Like there's not a lot for that to go. There's not a lot of cushion for you to be able to play in that kind of scenario.
Wow. Well, it looks like we've got a 10-minute mark coming up, so the meeting's almost over. But
We could always make a new one. I don't know.
I know we might have to make it. We might have to make a new one because I'm curious on how on this. I mean, that seems fascinating to me and how you do that. So
No,
we'll call this part one. When it ends, we'll do a part two or something because it's like, what the heck, man?
I'll be down. Yeah, yeah.
How has that affected your relationships, your gaming?
Um, I don't want to say that I have blamed my, we'll call it an addiction. We won't say that I've blamed my addiction
Wait, whoa, back up.
for,
Okay, you're gonna call it addiction or you're not? You're gonna be like, I mean, is it
I
an
don't know,
addiction?
it could be up there, but I'm not going to say that I have most likely blamed it for some issues in my life. I definitely could have handled it better. I mean, I was young. So, but, and I've seen it with a lot of people. It's frustrating for me to watch now. It's hard for me to like see it and see somebody and their significant other is trying to like interact with them. Cause I definitely miss that. I would definitely not put this over them. That's not something
Like
because
you
there is,
recognize you recognize that now and you can see it in other players.
yeah, and it
Like,
gets
yeah, this
hard
has turned into
sometimes. Yeah. Um, but you
okay,
can't
so
say
let's
things.
do this. Let's do this real quick. Let's wrap this one up. We're gonna stop this bit. We're gonna start the new one, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's do okay. We'll be right back. Well, this
All
is gonna
right.
be part two.
Okay.